SLTV support, could you please start the recording?
Ready to go.
Thank you. Go ahead,
All right,
Justin.
well, thank you so much. Great to see so many people in person. I hate that I have to be joining virtually while on travel, but I'm excited for to call this meeting to order. And with that, I will hand things over to William for the roll call.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Let me start off with the roll call.
Excuse me, William. Can you all hear him? Can you all hear? Okay.
Yes.
We have a microphone in case.
Okay.
But
Eileen, Kathy, Lydia Padilla, Dory Harris, Lakeisha Mathis, Mary Lame,
present.
Justin Bennett, Charlotte Hammond,
Present.
Kendra Holmes, Benita Neal,
Present.
Roger Spearman,
Present.
Justin Ramundo,
Present.
Lucinell Haberberger, Susan Hadeen, William Bell, present. Jose Argon, Sherry Tillis,
Present.
Michael Newton,
Present.
Regina Greer, Allison Dino,
Present.
Julie Fickus,
Present.
Kevan Grame, present. Stacy Fowler,
Present.
Jerry Bowles,
Present.
Kimberly Chaplin, and Michelle Graham.
Present.
With that total, we have 14 present, Mr. Chairman.
Great. Thank you. All right. Glad to see so many folks here. We will move to our first item on the agenda, which is a board spotlight of the board officers. So that would include Charlotte Hammond, who's vice chair, William Bell, who you just heard from roll call, and myself. And then I believe Danita Neal is immediate past board chair. So that's us. Anything specific, Connie, you wanted us to chat through in our spotlight?
No, not necessarily. The spotlight is on you, Justin. So, Miss Charlotte and you got Mr. Bill. Hey, have at it. We appreciate your service. We thank you for your service, and we thank you for been having some transition issues, and you guys have been very, very helpful in terms of providing some background and much needed history. So, we appreciate you. So thank you.
Right. Thanks, Connie. I want to echo the thanks. Thanks to Charlotte. Thanks to William. Thanks to Danita. Thanks to a lot of folks serving on the board and stepping up in various capacities, either to support the staff directly, champion the programs, partner with the programs specifically, or in the case of Justin Bennett and many others, kind of stepping in to chair various committees on the fly, joining committee calls while traveling, trying to fit this into your schedule, but always toward the commitment of ensuring that St. Louis City has a strong and skilled and inclusive workforce. So I appreciate the work of this board over the past year. Many have served for many years, so I appreciate your continued trust and guidance and support and commitment to this board as we continue to support this agency and the work. So, all right. Anything, Charlotte or William or others?
I'm really proud to be a part of Slate. I know many friends, church members that have benefited from Slate over the years, and to now have the opportunity to serve on the board is humbling to me. And my engagement with Slate really started with some of the Slate staff that are still there that reached out to our organization where, they would encounter individuals with disabilities. And they just saw the expertise that we had as an organization to assist Slate and be a good community partner with Slate. So I'm just happy to be a part of the organization. So thank you for giving me this opportunity.
All right. We'll start off by just saying thank you for the opportunity to serve on the executive board and being a member of the Workforce Development Board. It's something that I do not take lightly. Coming from my background and seeing, coming from one of those impoverished areas and seeing the possibilities that Slate provides for those that are in these communities. So I see where they're coming from and I can see where they can get to. So that way, that's one reason why this board is close, near and dear to my heart, because showing people the opportunities that they can do more with their life, they have a possibility for more, is something that I want to keep pushing. To let people know that there is a greater purpose for them in life than just the mundane saying, same old, and being able to be exposed to jobs that their parents weren't being exposed to. One of the reasons why I'm here. So thank you all.
All right, thank you. Well, we will move to the Slate staff spotlight. So, Connie, do you want to introduce Angie?
Yeah, so Justin, I need to go back. Robert's rules in effect, we need to officially call, I guess, everything in order. That's what Miss Anita said. I got to call a meeting to order.
Oh, sorry. I thought I did it. It was maybe a little subtle, but I just said welcome, and then also I called the meeting to order. But again, I call this meeting to order.
Thank you.
While I have a break here, I noticed Lakeisha joined. Hi, Lakeisha. Let's see some other folks making sure just the role acknowledges that we've had some board members join.
Yes, Justin Raimundo, we have our new member here in person, Dori Harris, with us. Yes, first time in person, seeing each other faces. Wonderful.
Right.
We have additional members. We have additional members who just arrived. We have Aileen Caffey joining us now, and we have Dori Harris, right?
Awesome. So the meeting is called to order. We've updated the roll call, I believe. We've acknowledged our officers, and now I'll hand things back to Connie.
Okay. So I'm going to, since football season is still in effect, I'm going to punt to Pete. Who's our compliance program manager, so he can introduce the latest member of his team and any other introductions he needs to make.
Hi, I'm Pete. I'm program manager of compliance here at Slate. The staff spotlight this week is Lorena. She's new here at Slate. She's going to tell you about herself. I don't know what else.
Angie Lorena Palacio. I go from Colombia. Yeah, I just joined the Slate. I'm happy to be here. I'm part of contract compliance. For you, Angie.
I think Angie's been modest. I believe she's a lawyer back in Colombia. So had international rules here, but want to definitely make sure that you were aware that she's the attorney. If we need help in Columbia, we already got somebody here.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Angie, for your contributions to the Slate's mission and its work. Appreciate the collaboration here. Okay, so the next item is the approval of minutes from the September 23rd, 2025 meeting. So I'll pause here for any questions or comments on the minutes. Without discussion, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Mike Newton, motion to approve.
Great.
Jado, you were first.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Great. Opposed? Abstentions? This passes. Okay, so this next item is a memorial recognition, obviously recognizing Rebecca Wright, Gretchen Mullen, Donnie Carroll. Anything that we want to speak to here, Connie?
So right now, unfortunately, we won't be able to officially dedicate the rooms in part because the plaques did not come in. So what our plan is during the week of Christmas, when we have our Spirit Week, on the Friday, right before Christmas, we're gonna have team building exercises. And at that time, we will officially dedicate the snack room to Miss Gretchen, this executive room to Mr. Donnie, and we're gonna start, and hopefully it's not gonna be a long wall, but we're gonna start a memorial wall for our Slate family. And so hopefully this won't be something that we're doing every year, but we definitely, just want to acknowledge, we wouldn't be here for 50 years had it not been for people who had come before us. And now they have transitioned. And as it pertains to Miss Rebecca, she didn't work here, but because of the work she did for here, we are here. It's important to have good legal counsel. And I'm also humbled that our current attorney is on the call. Well, he's been, I think,
And Barton.
and Barbara is here. That's why I was thinking, who is that? So we have, when we make these introductions then a little bit later, but that's all that we have for today. And with regard to the actual commemoration. And it was thought at that time that the mayor would be here as part of that. I'm not sure if she will make it, being so we're not doing the dedication, but obviously she is always welcome. But that is pretty much it for the dedications. So.
Right. Thank you, Connie. Yes, and thank you for your kind words and the effort to remember such important people that contributed so significantly to Slate and the work. And I appreciate the opportunity for us to be able to memorialize them. So we will move us into our consent agenda. Let's see. I'll pause here. There are various reports standard to our previous consent agendas, the summary of the various committee meetings, our labor force statistics, our membership updates, and then officer elections. So I will pause here as Svetlana noted as we were going through this as an executive committee that we will have elections come January. I will be term limited out, which is bittersweet because I have loved working with you all in this capacity. But I'm grateful for the opportunity to transition as we have been seeing transitions at Slate this past year and beyond to a new chair. And then vice chair and secretary are eligible for reelection or all other roles. So I have, as I mentioned at the top, really appreciated working with the other board officers and the entire board as well. So if you have questions about any of these officer roles or how to continue or expand your role on the board, feel free to reach out to me. But think about this now, as in our next conversation, we will be having an election in 2026. So with that, I will entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda. Great. Do we have a second?
Second.
Charlotte, Stacy or Charlotte?
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Great. Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Abstentions? Great. So into our first order of new business, it is the program year 2025-2026 final budget approval. I will introduce, Connie, do you want to walk through this?
I'm going to punt again to Ms. Cassandra, who I want to first acknowledge for the beautiful decor. You walked into a lovely winter wonderland here at Slate. Ms. Cassandra's tradition. She is our holiday person, all holidays. Ms. Cassandra is our resident decorator. And so thank you for taking time out with the team. It's a beautiful one here. And with that, I'm going to gracefully punt over here to you for the budget.
So did everyone get a copy of the budget summary? Which outlines our updated budget for this year and includes all of our projects, including our WIOA funding. As you may or may not know, we always allocate it in two pots. The youth is allocated in April, and then the adult DW is in July and October. So you were able to receive our October allocation. Yes. Yes. So this year, we did receive an increase in our adult pot, a significant increase in our DW dislocated worker pot, and then for our youth pot, just a slight decrease, but nothing significant on the youth pot. And so our total allocation for this year is $2,344,349 for the 3 pots of WIOA funding for this PY 25-26 program year. We also have our discretionary grants that were part of the budget summary as well, and it indicates our ARPA projects that are still at work. One of our projects, well, 2 of our projects are still being facilitated. That is our Summer Youth Employment Program, in which we have 2 sub-recipients operating that program, EDSI and STL Youth Jobs. And then our Unhoused project is still in operation, which is Peter and Paul, which has that grant. For this year for JCCP, if you note there, we've received a significant cut in budget this year from last year, almost in half. And then Job League also, there was a cut this year, 50%. And then Skill Up pretty much remained kind of the same. We did receive from the state 2 additional support awards. One is the Show Me Heroes, for us to be able to serve veterans, provide work experience, on-the-job training opportunity and significant supportive services through our Show Me Yours grant through the state. We also received from the state a White Advisor grant for staff to be able to provide White Advisor services to support what is already being done by the Office of Workforce Development staff that is here on campus. For our youth build, actually our youth build project, we are now in follow-up. The program itself ended in September, and the final program will be September of this coming year for closeout. So we're in the follow-up process of that. We also received from the state $250,000 for the tornado work experience to be able to put persons to work for the recovery of the tornado. So we do have those grants in effect as well. These are all of our discretionary and we are supporting funds. Are there any questions?
I just commend you for your diversification of funds, with WIOA being uncertain.
Yes.
Coming, having other sources of funding to help support the community is vital, so thank you guys for all the different sources that are coming in.
And we're actively looking for more. So whether it be from the state of Missouri, whether it be from the United States government, whether it be from the city of St. Louis, to your point, Ms. Jerry, you know, the storm seems to be calm right now, but you know, I'm hoping that this is not the calm before the storm, because we just don't know what next year looks like. So we are actively looking and engaging and applying for other sources. Please keep us in mind as potential partners in grant applications. We're here for all of that, and then some. So.
Other questions, discussion? Thank you to the diligence of work that went into preparing this budget, and as noted previously, the work to ensure the financial health of Slate. So with that, I will entertain a motion to approve the program year 2025-2026 budget.
This is Eileen, I move to approve.
Thanks, Eileen.
Julie Pickett, second.
Thanks, Julie. All right, all those in favor of approving the program year 2025-2026 budget, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? This passes. Great work, everyone. So our next item of business is a slate of training providers. So these are new training providers and programs to the Workforce Board's list of eligible training providers. So I'll pause here, Connie or team, if there's any thing that you wanted to speak to on these specific providers.
So we are always excited about new opportunities and having partnerships with potential trainers and employers at the same time. So Ms. Tondela Evans is here. She's our contract supervisor, and she is the primary, she's a point person when people are applying to get on this list. She is here. Not sure if you have anything you'd like to add about the folks on this list, but you're like, no. But
I've already added the list to that line. That's how it came a part of the agenda. But these are potential eligible training providers that have reached out to Slate that wants to partnership with us so that they can become a training provider.
And I do want to, I guess, put a special shout out to Rankin, our very own board member, Mr. Tarami, who brought up and who raised this manufacturing welding technology program in part due to our concern post-tornado that we needed some programs that would allow people to get back to work, particularly those individuals who may have lost their business or work for a business that no longer exists, like how to get people into certain trades. And he highlighted that this was a hot trade, it was in demand. And so I want to thank him for making that recommendation or suggestion. And this is a perfect example of what we need and why you are all important as board members, because this was his brainchild. It created an immediate response to what's going on with the tornado, and I think it's going to be a very popular program. And we look forward to our continued partnership with Rankin as well as others here on this list.
Thank you.
Say anything to that.
Oh, it's a great program, and we've seen it in the industry. It's an industry certified type of program, and customize it based on my experience coming from both sides of the aisle, from manufacturing and education. I believe this is an excellent program.
Great, thank you. I see Charlotte.
Yeah, no, this is really great to hear, Connie. Just a quick question, and I don't know who's in charge when it comes to media coverage. I think this is really positive PR, especially with, just seeing on the news this past weekend, just the continued, I would say, devastation that is still happening after 6 months in the city of St. Louis. So is there a way, Connie, and, I'm not sure if this is something you want to do or not, but for us to get this out publicly, the positive partnership with Rankin and maybe all of these other places. And if we've already had some people to start the program, again, just some positive PR for Slate, along with these community partners would be great.
Well, that is Miss Charlotte. That is actually the new role that Svetlana is in. She is our public information officer, and she does the press releases as part of our outreach. We also have Miss L here, who is our social media guru, who puts out a lot of information in social media. And I just want to say that I think it was this week, we had up to 89,000, I think it was likes or whatever was that.
Okay.
So, and if you didn't hear that, 87,000 likes within the past 30 days.
Oh, okay.
We have been turning up our media game, our social media game, and it's been a labor of love and hard work. So to your point, we could capture this by way of a press release that Svetlana does work with the mayor's office, and that does help us get a push out. And then Ms. L, I know, can do a social media push about this. And this is something too, potentially, that we would maybe discuss on our TV show.
Yeah.
Or our radio. Well, we just did an interview with iHeartMedia, Shannon and I, about a week ago. And then I did another interview with The Point, also at iHeart. So we are definitely trying to do more education and outreach, because people like, oh yeah, I know Slate. Oh yeah, but we're like, no, we don't want you to say, oh yeah, we know Slate. We want people to know us for our work, our deeds, and hopefully consider us for more funding. So
that's great.
We can get that. We can definitely do that and get that out.
Yeah, that's great.
Thanks, Charlotte. Other comments or questions? Great. So it looks like all of these programs have already been approved and listed in Mo Jobs with the Missouri Office of Workforce Development. So this is, I'll entertain a motion to approve the St. Louis City Local Workforce Development Board to add these programs to the list of eligible training providers.
Excuse me, I want to make a note that those ranking board members need to abstain from the vote. Abstention is in place. So you need to say, I abstain.
I'm sorry?
You cannot vote.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve these.
Thanks. Do we have a second?
Oh, Mike
Second.
Newton, second.
Who
Great. Okay.
was Mike?
I think it was both Lakeisha and Mike said it, but we'll go with one of them.
Mike.
One of them, yeah.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Mr. Chair,
Opposed?
I need you. Oh, okay. Yeah, I need you to say it.
And then I know there is an abstention.
Yeah, you need to say, I abstain.
I abstain as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We've noted those abstentions for conflicts. All right, this passes. So the next item is the board calendar 2026. So our first board meeting will be January 27th. As a reminder, those are officer elections, so you'll receive communication if you, as a board member, want to recommend and or put yourself on the slate of officer elections. Again, if you have questions on any of those roles, what it means, or your commitments, feel free to reach out to Connie or me or any other officer. Happy to answer questions. And their dates are listed here in our exhibit. Any questions? Discussion? I will entertain a motion to approve the 2026 calendar for our meetings.
So moved, Stacy.
Approve.
I think we have a first and a second then.
I'll second. Mike Newton.
Great. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? This passes. Okay.
Mr. Chair,
We have talked about.
I noticed that Lakeisha Mathis joined us.
Great.
Hi, Lakeisha.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. And I noted that you're present. Thank you. for joining.
Good. Yeah, she's been here for a minute, but I'm glad she's here. So we've been talking about item number 8 for a bit now. I'm grateful for the work that I know has gone into developing a fundraising and gift acceptance policy, as was noted earlier in this meeting. Just the work of Slate and the team and the leadership in diversifying its funding has been critical as we've seen shifts in cycles in funding, particularly this past year. So I'm grateful for us to continue to develop oversight and different policies as it relates to fundraising and gift acceptance. So if there's discussion or question here, but I'll hand things over to Connie and team.
Thanks, Justin. Yes, this has definitely been a labor of love, to get us where we needed to be. And I want to thank Ms. Charlotte and the finance team for their leadership and active participation in this process, which is absolutely crucial. So I think what we have here is a happy medium. I think we have addressed many of the issues in terms of just kind of getting us up and start. Okay, this is a start. This is a conservative approach, because one of the things that we didn't want to really get involved with is the handling of cash. And we also wanted to make sure that the policy reflected a bright red line, if you will, of separation between you know, the work that we do at Slate versus the fundraising, so that it doesn't look like we're mixing apples and oranges. So we wanted to make sure that there were clearly defined lanes and clearly defined roles. And so I think we will work through that. Obviously, we'll be providing administrative and technical support to the board, but these, I think that we're now ready, that the entity, the board will be ready to actively start engaging in fundraising, whether it be an activity or whether it be part of an ongoing event. From my understanding and history that was espoused to me, that this kind of came about because of the need for additional funding in the space of supported services. We get supported services money, but it is restricted by way of WIOA. So if someone comes in and they're not eligible for WIOA, then we're not able to offer them supportive services. And what has been happening over the years, and definitely what's happening now, is that we're getting people who might be somewhere in between. You know, they're not eligible for WIOA, but yet they're in need of services. So by way of the board engaging in fundraising to potentially raise funds for unrestricted supported services and or to support ongoing supportive services right now. One of the things that we wanted to really kind of pound away at in this was the in-kind fundraising. Right now, we are actively collecting food for 20 families that are enrolled in WIOA programs. These families were impacted and potentially be impacted by the whole SNAP. We had people kind of like panicking when this whole, the news was out about SNAP. But prior to that, we had decided that we would adopt 20 participants, and then we're going to adopt another 5, 5 being Slate employees. And we respect everybody's confidentiality, but we need our employees to know that we're here for them too. And if we're going to go out and help everybody else, we need to help our own. So we have families here who were impacted by the tornado. We have at least 2 that lost everything. And then we have others that have got these ongoing repairs that don't seem to end. So there's a lot of post-tornado recovery that where I think having this fundraising venue could help a lot of people and continue helping the people that we have enrolled and then those that are not. So we are collecting food and we'll be hopefully engaging in additional in-kind support for the agency. So it's up now to you guys to create a fundraiser and adopt it and plan, and then we stand ready, willing, and able to assist. So.
Well, thank you, Connie, for the context. Again, appreciate the leadership and contributions of the team to develop these policies to support and hopefully catalyze continued fundraising and contributions. Really, as you noted, to help provide services across the city when certain limitations exist with WIOA and other regulations you all follow. So with that, I will pause here for any discussion from the board.
I'd just like to thank the team for working on this. It really has been a long time coming. I remember when it was conceptualized, and I'm so grateful for the work that's put it into place. So thank you.
Yes, you're here. I will entertain a motion to approve the fundraising and gift acceptance policy.
I motion to approve the fundraising and gift acceptance policy.
Thank you.
This is Charlotte.
I have two.
Great. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? The motion passes. Great. And then same thing. We have a new banking policy. As you've heard before, this allows us to really be able to manage those contributions. So I'll pause here. Is there any additional context, Connie, that you wanted to add on the banking policy?
No, I think it's all said here, and again, thanking Ms. Charlotte and Finance Committee for flushing this out. Many of you know that an account had been created in the board's name, but we did not have a policy to go with it. So as part of the making sure we didn't have a cart before the horse, we now have this banking policy, which also establishes clearly defined procedures and guidelines for Slate staff, and also board responsibilities. One of the things, the biggest thing is that now this, the board will move from Bank of America to Together Credit Union. Ms. Charlotte and others thought that this was definitely a better fit for the board. And now the policy is broad and generic enough to fit whatever banking institution or credit union. So again, thanks to the Finance Committee for that.
Great.
Ms. Connie, were we able to get that money back to the previous executive director, or is that still underway?
We have not started that process.
Okay.
Unraveling yet, but now.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So I guess my question is, like, when the Salvation Army bell ringers are out there now, they have a sign and have a QR code because people don't carry cash on them. Is there something like that that could be added to whatever fundraising? Some QR code that you can do money electronically? Because cash is, fewer people are having cash on them, just a thought.
Yeah, I think that we absolutely probably could. I think what the only thing right now is kind of not knowing all of the amenities that Together offers. But typically those QR codes are pretty much tied to these different apps like Venmo and PayPal.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of kind of getting the account set up for that. And absolutely, but we can definitely look into that. It's just that, and Together might have something already, set up. So once we get that up and moving, we will find out what all the amenities and services. But absolutely, you're right.
And I will say our conversations at the finance committee were around, we should choose a institution that's committed to St. Louis. And so we kind of did a little bit of due diligence and Together. That's awesome. Who we selected.
So, I did have a question on that. And I'm not sure if we're there yet, but if we did go with that QR code, is that something that could be on the actual website, like towards the bottom, like if they want to donate towards and have that QR code there?
We could, yes. We use QR codes a lot here at Slate. We use them for surveys, we use them for registration for job fairs. So I think, the QR code is definitely something that we can do. But to your point, the website, I do think that we might have to have a separate site for the board. Okay. In order to actively promote fundraising, we as an agency could not have your fundraising QR code on our government-funded website. We got the lawyers here, we got Ms. Barr here, over there quietly, politely taking notes, and I know Nick is online taking notes. I'm sure Nick is so quiet, he probably. But yeah, so I think that's kind of going to be part of the next phase. Okay, how do people know that the board is engaging in fundraising? And we, Ms. Cassandra and I, we can raise this later in the agenda. When we were at the OWD Summit down at the lake, Clyde McQueen from Kansas City gave a presentation on his board and his structure. And so we learned quite a bit from how they do things on the Kansas City side. They are completely different than us, but we definitely were able to pick up some good information and some lessons learned. So looking forward to sharing that. And Clyde has offered, Justin, that, hey, we can get on a call and talk and do that. So he he had a lot going on, but he was very gracious and provided a lot of information.
They do have very diversified funding up there. WIOA is the smallest
Yes.
of their funding that they get. So Clyde's done some things up there, and I'm glad that you guys made a connection there.
I hope he can make some connection with some money.
He knows a lot of players in the game, so.
Yeah. Great, thank you. Other discussion, questions or comments? I'm glad to see the connection as well to the Employment Council in Kansas City. They are doing some great work. That's why they have such significant recognition. And yeah, as Jerry noted, their model has allowed them to have quite a bit of diversity of funding and different sources. So I appreciate the guidance that they can offer. I will entertain a motion to approve the banking policy.
Mike Newton, so moved.
Thanks, Mike.
Second by Stacy.
Thank you. I'll also pause here, acknowledge Regina Greer has joined as well. Thanks for being with us this morning, Regina, to acknowledge you for the vote. So I will, so all those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstention? Great, this passes. I'll hand things over to Connie for discussion on upcoming events.
Okay, upcoming events. So we have been rocking and rolling here with our different job fairs and community outreach. But coming up in December, this is one of our largest and premier events called the Holly Jolly Job Fair. The event kind of centers around hiring for the holidays, but we have a number of employers that are seeking permanent positions, permanent hires, whether it be entry-level or mid-level positions. It's a 2-day event. Right now, we have over 40 plus employers who are signed up over the next 2 days, for the 2 days of December 4th and 5th. And I don't know, Miss L. Okay. But that's pretty much what we have. We also have been making a lot of progress by way of second chance employers. We noticed an uptick in justice impaired clients. Some that might qualify for WIOA under the VW program, others are not. So we have also kind of increased that pot. We've been talking recently with the Department of Corrections about trying to get additional resources. So for every event we've been having lots of, people saying, hey, I need a job, I got a felony, I need a job. So that's something where I think in large part due to just the sign of the times, people who have lost their jobs, just period, and then also people who have just lost their jobs just because of different life circumstances. So we feel positive that this is going to be yet another successful event. The last job fair that we had a few weeks ago, I think we had over 100, Rebecca?
Yes, we had 103 participants on that day.
And it was through a 3-hour window.
Yes.
Yeah, so leading up to Holly Jolly, we had Workforce Wednesdays and Find a Job Fridays, where we had 3-hour job fairs, and we had some on the spot hiring, so it was very successful. So look forward to continuing that. I did notice for some of our participants, we're trying to get them in the right position, but they're not dressed for success. And we're particularly the young men. We were want a job, but they need assistance with clothing. And this is an example of the supportive services issue. If somebody is in our program, we can help. If they're not in our program, then what do we do? So during a recent committee meeting, I mentioned that, and Ms. Tillis offered the possibility of us being able to refer men to Father Support Network because they have a partnership with Men's Warehouse. So we sent an email indicating that we want to take you up on that, Ms. Sherry. And now we are, now as Johnny Taylor would say, gone public, I guess, we're going public with it. But I'll be following up with you because it's a need. Again, we have people who said, I've lost everything. I have no clothes. You know, this is the best I got. So we want to help people. We want to help them look the part so they can truly get the part. So that's something. But anyway.
I do have a link for a resource for veterans that are in need of suits.
Okay.
For interviews, I'll shoot that over to you.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. Because we did have, it's my understanding, we have had 300 veterans walk through these doors this year. And through our veterans program rep, he has serviced 89 today. So, and yesterday I was in the hallway and a man, he was having acid reflux and I was like scared because I didn't know he was having a heart attack or something else. But he was, you know, he said, it's always my anxiety. He said, you know, and I'm a veteran. He said, I've not been able to get a job. And he said, I get anxious and then my acid reflux. He said, come on in here and let's see what you think. I'm going to say 301 veterans today and hopefully we were able to get it in the system. So Thanksgiving already talked about for us, by us, rather than us have, you know, bringing food in and everybody sitting around eating, gaining some holiday weight. We decided to adopt some families because the needs are so great. So we welcome any donations of dry goods. We have a tentative donation of like about 20 turkeys so we can prepare boxes. So anything that you have in that space, we appreciate. As I mentioned, Spirit Week will be December 15th, 19th. We had a really good Spirit Week for Halloween. That was fun. And so Alan already left. He pretty much coordinates it. And it's during that time, that last day, we're going to do our holiday team building celebration and then conference room dedications. We will be doing a white elephant gift exchange. And I know in the past that there have been more gifts for employees. But fortunately for us, Miss Sherry has started off with a very kind donation of several gift cards that we'll be able to start giving, that we'll be able to use as door prizes. So we are still we'll be actively looking for prizes and those kind of things for our staff. So if you have anything that you did not use last year, that can be re-gifted, we gladly accept it. But that is all I have in terms of those different events.
I have a question about the justice involved individuals. As you're working with those folks, one of our challenges as an employer in healthcare is that they need to be able to pass the family care safety registry. I was wondering if, you know, as part of support for those individuals, maybe we could assist them with some of those kind of hoops and loops that they may need to qualify to be hired. You know, whether it's a good cause waiver, which they can apply for, or making sure that, you know, just see if you can pass the family care safety registry. That will determine, you know, kind of where you could go and apply. I'm just thinking that that might be a way that we could assist them in terms of them understanding their own eligibility. Does that make sense? So we're very open to hiring justice involved people, provided that we are allowed to, right? And so knowing upfront before we have any conversations and interview and go down this path and then only to let them down, I would, you know, if we could be more proactive and not, you know, and have them apply to be, see if they can be on the family care safety registry, that would be huge. Healthcare companies, daycare facilities, lots of them require that, right? And I think that's an extra way of support.
An online application to do that.
The stages are right.
Yeah,
good cause waivers and other things, that you can apply for. You don't need an attorney. You can do it on your own. But a lot of people need assistance kind of walking through the process. But getting a good cause waiver is huge to open up.
It allows them to be on the.
Exactly, yeah.
Also, with the state, we have the federal bonding program as well. And if employers are receptive to that, we can apply for that for certain positions.
Mark Ender, you may want to have him come up to the Holly Jolly event. He is the federal bonding coordinator, and he has information, like people can use that as a hiring tool when they go to an employer's like, hey, take a chance on me. I'm insured, like, and then the employer just has to apply for it, and I've not known any employers not get that.
That's both good suggestions. I know one thing that we do, and that would be something that we could kind of fold in. With Ms. Hunt, we pretty much now have a dedicated employment training specialist that focuses on the entry. And what's happening is that folks don't have IDs. So she takes them upstairs to the fourth floor so they can start that process to get either the ID or to get birth certificate. So this might be something to add to her checklist in terms of checking through.
And we have seen, as we put it to people that don't have two forms of ID to pass the I-9 verification, which is required. And so that's another, I know it's another loop that people need to jump through, but it would be great if they were more job ready before they even talk to the employer. Like whatever we can do as an organization to be like, okay, you need to have two forms of ID. You need, these kinds of things to get them ready and prepared so that when we're ready to make an offer, they're ready to accept.
I know Missouri Department of Corrections, it used to be you get your documentation once in a lifetime. They would pay for your ID and your birth certificate once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Well, for our repeat offenders, they don't have it then again. So it was a struggle. So now they do replace those for everyone getting released. Sometimes they get released before they get the documents.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem. So.
Big deal.
Thank you for this rich discussion. I see Charlotte's hand up.
I'm not sure who was speaking in the room regarding being job ready.
I think this Eileen and Jerry.
Oh, okay. So, excuse me. So one of the things that our agency does as well is that we're somewhat that facilitator for individuals who may have barriers to employment. And I would suggest if Connie and team, if we have some individuals that are in that position that, and I'll have my team to reach out because we do have contracts with the St. Louis Public School, with BJC. We're working with SSM now. And so there's a great relationship there. And we do serve as advocates, and a lot of times employers, and I see this more and more, that they like to start with the maybe as a attempt to hire. And I know maybe that's not the preference, but sometimes that's the best way that you can get your foot in the door. You can prove yourself, and then we can help them convert to full-time employment. That takes maybe 90 days or 120 days. So that's another route that I'd like to encourage. And I think when there's job fairs, I think we try to show up at those job fairs, Connie, and it's under the AOS staffing model that we have. So I just want to make sure that we remember that that's another path to employment, that kind of temp to perm route. And so if they really want to hold a job, they'll do well because we'll advocate, because we have advocated in the past where most likely they wouldn't have gotten through the front door. And so there's some indiscretions, whether that will not get hired in some of these settings, some of those more violent crimes and things like that. But some of these lower level infractions, we can definitely help to get those folks hired. And we've done it just many times over the past couple of years. And folks are still working today. So really proud of that.
But that would be, it would be good probably for Ms. Hunt to kind of follow up and get some more information.
Okay.
We are trying to build up an official kind of stand up or an official reentry program. It started with a pilot with the Justice Center, the P2P, Prisoner Prosperity, had a great deal of success with that, and the Justice Center wants to continue their partnership. We're just looking for the money to make sure that we can do it. But because we're having people who've already been released, okay, and who are in need of services, we really want to build that up in terms of being able to provide services for those individuals as well. And kind of along those lines, Ms. Charlotte, thank you for sharing those resources. I would humbly ask every member of the board that if your organization would like to participate in our job fairs, please let us know. You are automatically welcome, but we'd like to have each and every one of you as an official employer in our database, so that when we have events, you know, we can send a link out to you, your organization, your respective person, and you can register accordingly. Because you guys have jobs, you might have opportunities. So we really would, you know, as we get ready for the new year, encourage you to sign up and participate. And if anybody's interested in signing up and participate in the event coming up in December, please let us know.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for that rich discussion. The next item is upcoming conferences.
Well, everybody's in. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's just a balloon. It's just a balloon.
They do that.
Okay. Everybody take a deep breath. Okay. Everybody's in New Orleans right now for the youth symposium. Unfortunately, we were not able to attend, but I understand it's always a good conference, lots of good information. So Shannon Johnson went on behalf of the agency, and we're looking forward to hearing information back from him.
Wonderful. Okay, seeing no reports, I will open it up for many matters from the board. Well, I will just again thank everyone on the board for your work this year, your commitment to Slate, the mission, particularly during this period of transition, both in the in the city of St. Louis, but also at the state level and national climate shifting. So I just want to thank everyone for their commitment, their hard work. And in support of making sure the city of St. Louis has a strong workforce. So I appreciate all of you. I will also just do another plug. Really strongly consider serving either in committees or in officer roles. It is been a great honor to really serve you all as the chair, and I'm grateful to continue to work with all of you. But also for the opportunity to hand things over to a new chair. Manners from the executive director.
Okay, just as I take a bite of bacon. You guys have missed a wonderful breakfast. I really look forward to being able to sit down and enjoy it. But I want to just digress real quickly and introduce Miss Barbara. I don't want to pronounce her last name because I haven't quite mastered it yet. But Miss Barbara is here. She is our new attorney for the agency. She's at the city councilor's office. I'm not sure how long Barbara's been here, but I want to give you the opportunity to be recognized and introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you. I'm Barbara Burkett. I'm an associate city councilor from City Hall, and I'm happy to be here and have the opportunity to come in person and to meet you all and to take on this work opportunity. Hope to be able to serve you well.
You're welcome. And I think Nicholas Morrow is on the call. Nicholas was our attorney before, and he's still kind of riding shotgun with Ms. Barbara right now, but he has transitioned over to federal funding, but we thank Nicholas too for being here and his ongoing support. So thank you.
I am here. Thanks, Connie.
So basically, just going to go down here. The monitoring review, the state visit, it went well. We will receive an official report. Obviously they're following up. This is the state's first monitor or site visit since they brought it back in-house. Before they were using BOOT, fiscal management, and so they decided to bring it back. Slate was the first agency that the state came and did this new site visit. So the state is working through the transition of bringing the program back in. We obviously were very receptive and responsive to their questions. And so once an official report is issued, we'll get that to the board. Grant opportunities. We talk about diversification of funding. We applied for a couple grants and both were denied. I'm pretty kind of bummed about it. We applied for a grant with the St. Louis Community Foundation, and we also applied for a grant with CDA. We did talk to those potential funders, and St. Louis Community said we didn't do as good of a job telling our story.
That's what I was gonna say. It's all about telling your story.
Right. So it's kind of going back to, okay, well, we all know what Slate does, and people in the circle know what Slate does, but when you're applying for money, you got to be able to spell it out and let people know what you do. So that was the feedback they gave us. So we'll stand ready. CDA, they use a scoring system in terms of how they award money. In general, CDA said, for the most part, that they just funded people who they had funded in the previous year, although there were a couple new awardees. I did share my feelings about that oversight, in my opinion. I've let it be known. So it's my understanding that there's some potential reconsideration. Because theoretically, how can you fund outside workforce programs and not fund your own? So that was essentially my position, that, you're funding programs that we are currently doing, and not to call out any organizations. I'm not anti anybody, I'm just pro-slave. And so that was the gist of the conversation that I had. It was very respectful, but still very straightforward. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, we've been talking with our grant writers, which is a cell, and we're saying, hey, we really need to flush out more details about our programs. We got to flush it out. We got to give them numbers. And that's going to be a good exercise, not only for grants, but also just period, future funding opportunities and funding period. Even with the federal government, they're looking for more metrics. They're looking for cause and effect. If I give you $1 million to run this program, what are going to be the results? How many people got jobs? How many people got training? How many people went from training to jobs? So those are going to be deliverables that we're going to have to do more tracking, I believe, because the handwriting is kind of on the wall. So with that being said, we'll continue to pursue funding opportunities. If you know of any, please let us know, so that we can start looking and start going forward. The HUD's committee meeting is scheduled today regarding ARPA funding. So for the past several months, the administration has been trying to drill down on ARPA funding. Who spent it, who has money they don't think they could spend, and how can we make sure we meet this December 2026 deadline. So originally, the agencies were all going to present today, but that they made a last minute shift. The meeting will take place today, will only include presentations from SLDC and CDA. The meeting starts today at, I think it's at 12 or 12:30. The director for CDA, this is his last week, and as you know, a lot of ARPA funding went through CDA, so his presentation is expected to be long, and then obviously SLDC will have a presentation. The hearing will be online, so if anybody's interested. We've been notified that on December 2nd, the agencies will then be required to come before the HUD's committee and give their ARPA report. I am proud to report that out of the $9 million that Slate received, we have spent over $7 million. And the remaining $2 million is completely deployed and obligated to our SYEP program. So we don't anticipate having a dime left over of ARPA money. We don't have any to give to anybody else. The remaining money is being actively used. So I think we're one of the few agencies that can state that we are going to be able to maximize and utilize our funding. So to that extent and degree, we'll be asking that if the city has additional funding, that they would consider adding funds to any of the 7 programs that we have that have been ARPA funded, particularly the reentry. Because originally we had $450,000 for reentry funds via ARPA. At some point, those funds were taken from the agency and were used for the Justice Center. Now, what all happened, don't know. I just know that that money was taken from us. We'd like to get it back, but realistically, would we be able to spend $500,000 in 6 months? Probably not. So we've asked for a portion of that money to be returned to us to carry out some of the things that we've talked about in the space.
Hey, Connie, is the money still available?
Which money?
You mentioned about the 6, if I'm hearing you correctly, about that the dollars of that went to the Justice Center.
Oh, that money's gone.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's for the 911 center.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's long gone. So hopefully by January we'll have some more information, but we've been approached by Western University, who is actively seeking youth to educate youth and mid-level career folks, wanting to educate them about AI and AI-focused credentialing. I suspect that now they are in the process of applying to be on our employer provider training list. Seems like a good opportunity to really get in the space of AI. And for disclosure purposes, and not that I could vote on it one way or the other, I am an adjunct at Western University. I do teach cyber law. That is how they found me and contacted me because I am. So for disclaimer purposes, just let you know I'm not trying to hook up Western University. But they came to me with that. So more information to follow in that space. And we're starting to get, I would say every day we get phone calls. Tondela is probably going to be tired of getting emails and phone calls from me because I'm getting emails and phone calls from employers who have different training programs who want to become part of this list. So that's a good thing. Okay, successful hiring events. I kind of already talked about that. a little bit. We did have our apprenticeship and trades career fair back in September. We had over 650 folks here, which is great. Yay. Our team works really, really hard, and we are often, I believe, kind of like unsung heroes. But our staff, they do a good job. We do a good job, and they need to be recognized more, and the agency needs to be recognized more for the work it does. Workforce Wednesdays and Find a Job Fridays, October and November, connected over 250 job seekers with employers, and we did do some hiring on the spot. So these were the events that led to the Holly Job coming up. I already talked about the Thanksgiving donations are appreciated. And then last but not least, if you would like to spotlight your organization on STLTV, you are welcome to. We do this show once a month. They're 15-minute segments, and we try to highlight programs and people. And I guess programs, people, and partners. So if you'd like to be featured, I mean, it does go on YouTube, and it is also aired on, I think it's ABC, sometimes maybe like 7 in the morning on Sunday, but still, you know, it's out there. Right now, Shannon has stepped into the role of hosting, and then he and I will be kind of co-hosting, but it is an opportunity. And then we hope to real soon, not sure if we'll be able to kick it off before January, but we will be having podcasts here on site. So that would be another method of allowing a voice and getting more outreach and education opportunities for our programs. But I think that is all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
Right. Thanks, Connie, for all the work and leadership across the team.
We have a question.
Yep.
Other question?
I didn't hear you say anything about from work
And your name?
I'm here with.
Okay, you with the organization?
No, I have a small business.
Okay, okay, okay. We just wanted to. Yeah.
It said matters to the police, so I just.
Right, right, and we just wanted to let folks who are online also know too. Okay, no, ma'am, you're absolutely welcome. Just want to get your name. So we do, we are able to provide some assistance. We did have a program under the ARP, under the ARPA funding, which allowed for us to give folks bus passes, but that funding obviously is about to expire. But as far as our supportive services go, we do try to provide that assistance when we can. I see Alan shaking his head. Alan, he's one of our youth program managers. Can you speak to that, Alan?
Yes, ma'am. Supportive services. So we're able to provide bus passes or even gas cards to our participants that are enrolled in either work experience or training, just to help them get, just that extra little support until they're back to being self-sufficient with their paychecks. And so we also encourage financial literacy as well, encourage budgeting, and say when we have that conversation, hey, this is to get you through that first month, we're gonna work with the plan to make sure that we can make sure that your paycheck helps you and you will budget get your bus passes moving forward. But your support services are amazing.
And that is again, ma'am, for those who are enrolled. If you are not enrolled in our program, then we're not able to give that type of support because these funds are restricted to participants. That was the beauty of the ARPA, because it allowed us to serve more of the masses without the restrictions. Any other questions? Ms. Rebecca?
I just wanted to ask Ms. Connie if we wanted to mention our art.
Okay, yeah, so actually he'll be here if he's not already here now. So one of our potential, if you were here, you'd see beautiful art in the hallway and in some here in the conference room. The artist, his name is Eric Wilson. I think it's called ERG Galleries. And he works with, he's a mentor. He works with a lot of young African-American men. And this art is created by some of the people that he mentors. This art was in the Wesley House that was damaged by the tornado, and it needed a home. And so we offered our bare walls so that these beautiful pictures would not just be in a closet somewhere. And so, so all the beautiful art comes from this gallery. He is in the process of becoming a trainer. He's a bona fide contractor, and he's been working on a lot of tornado houses, but he has an art gallery in the campus. So we look forward to, he would like to have an intern for his art gallery, you know, because the art's obviously a valid career field, and we need more opportunity because some of our kids are into the arts, and we want to give them that opportunity. So he wants a curator. So we, but yeah, so we look forward to working more with him and hopefully featuring him on our shows. Yes, thanks for that. Any other questions?
Speaking back to the, you said that we changed the way to the intern, you guys have programs and I guess Governor Parson was like internships and things of that nature. Were you guys focusing on any of that training or programming for people or high schoolers who may not want to go to college, they just may want to go into some kind of internship or?
Yes, ma'am. You are sitting next to the young man, Mr. Allen, who will be able to answer all of those questions and then some. But Alan, if you want to just give a brief kind of highlight.
Yes, so honestly, all of Slate's youth jobs programs have some form of work experience opportunities and or training. So I can speak to my program specifically, which is Summer Youth Employment Program, SYEP. And what's great about that is we, through our work experience opportunities, we're able to partner with different work sites. So actually, Mr. Eric and his work with the tornado recovery, he actually was one of our work sites over the summer. He worked with 4 of our youth and giving them different training, mentorship opportunities that they were interested in construction. And so we work with several things. So other partners that you all have maybe heard of, some of our partners that we like to work with is Hotel Kitchen. That's another one in their culinary program. We work with them as well. But what I love about it is that we also, with ARPA, thank goodness to ARPA, we've been able to do some training opportunities as well. So when young people come and they may not want to go to the traditional 4-year college, we can definitely refer them to other different training opportunities. And what I love about the WIOA in-school program is they actually work with those high school seniors right then and there while they are in their senior year. So yeah, we take them all ages. We help support them and give them that mentorship, that training, and that work experience. I hope they
I would also say we are, I didn't mention, we also have very good meetings with St. Louis Community College, also about some additional certifications in the CDL space that would allow some additional career paths. I'm trying to think, Rebecca, what trades were those?
Well, the most recent conversation that I had was environmental remediation, and then automotive diesel technician, and then CDL.
And that, what about the hazmat or the?
The hazmat is environmental remediation, and then also the solar panel installation program.
So we were talking to them more about being able to refer clients to those different career paths. So again, having more conversations with people because we got to work we gotta work smarter, because we're all working harder. But to the extent that we can refer people or people can refer us, it becomes a win-win for everybody involved. And so that's what we want to do is optimize partnerships so that everybody benefits, and especially our clients.
Well, I think too, the post-secondary institutions are seeing a drop in enrollments, and they're more open and receptive to creating short-term training opportunities. But they need to know from us what we need. So you guys going and talking to them about these opportunities that are in need here, that needs to be happening, because they are willing to, before maybe not willing to listen, now they're willing to, because they need students, and they want to keep bringing in students. And our youth are wanting to not accrue student loan debt like the parents have, and so they're choosing to go alternative pathways that we specialize in.
And I think, that the education is twofold, because we have to educate the youth. A lot of these young men and women don't know what apprenticeships are, and then the different fields they're not familiar with. At a job fair a couple months ago, there was he was 16 years old, and he was pretty anxious. And he's like, man, and I was like, what's going on, young man? And he goes, man, I just need a job. I just need a job. I don't have time to go to school. I need a job. And he wasn't 10, but he was about an 8, So I pulled him over and said, hey, what's going on? He's like, I don't have time to be going to classes. I just need a job. I got a lot going on in my life. And I'm thinking, oh my God, he's 16 years old, and he sounded like a grown man, that he has a lot going on in his life. And so I took him over to the Abbott table, because we were just talking, and they said at that point, I think they do, and Alan, correct me, they have an earn and learn program, and that's something that, this kid needed. He needed a job, didn't have a skill set, said he didn't have time to go to school for that. He needs some money, and that was just my little encounter, in terms of getting off the elevator and having to overhear that conversation. But I'm sure that is not uncommon. And I'm sure Alan has heard it. I'm sure everybody in the youth department has heard it, that you're trying to sell careers to these young men and women. They don't know about it, and all they know is that they need some money. So that's part of what we're hoping, utilizing the TV show platform and utilizing the radio spots to educate and bring awareness to these fields, so that we can hopefully get these kids and grow. It's just a different generation. I got a 30-year-old nephew, and he just would rather work in other areas than go work at Amazon. And I'm like, back in my day, a job at Amazon could have meant everything, making that good money out there with benefits. But sometimes our kids are just not interested in those kind of careers right now.
So we participate though in some high school level career events, which is always really interesting. We talk about all the different things available in healthcare, especially with an associate's degree or less, right? You can make a really good living. But what was very interesting is a young man came up to me afterwards, like, thanks for the information, but he's like, I want a job where you take a shower before you go to work, not after you go to work. And so I do think there is kind of this mindset, right? That there, with, I guess, social media and cloud and all the other things, like having a person is a professional, not doing a dirty job. And so I think that that's something too that might be, something that they do think about at that age.
Yeah. It's just the reality of it. And, and getting dirty is okay, and
My bro and his dirty jobs. I want that.
I
love that job too.
Dirty jobs pay.
Yes,
They pay good money, and so that's definitely something that you were doing.
I do have a question. I know I'm really on this. I know they've been around 50 years, and I know back
to connect with the unions, because when I got in, we always heard coming in from Slate, Slate is a big thing out there. I don't hear that now, so we all don't connect with the unions anymore. So,
We do. I want to punt to Ms. Cassandra, and I'm gonna give you my 2 cents, and then we're gonna
we used to have an in-house person, Amant Pillay, who works directly with the unions and constructions. And so we had a lot of traffic flow coming through that would meet with him. And he was amazing in connecting folks with union and union jobs. We no longer have that position here. However, through some of our programs, especially like our youth build program, which is a construction program for youth, that is working in conjunction with Franklin. There is some connection with the unions for those young people. And then also, we are revisiting some opportunities, particularly again in the construction field, to be able to expose young people to more of the construction trades and building those partnerships.
If along with that, we do have members on the board that are from the different unions. So I'm with the Carpenters Union. And then also we have Michael Newton. He's also with IBEW. So we're definitely still present with getting people involved into those apprenticeships and trying to be involved as much as possible and impart that knowledge as well.
Right, it's just a union, but it's what, 30 unions.
Oh, yeah.
So we are also, Rebecca reminded me, working with Megan Price. So a couple things that are going on. The president, or I should say, the Golden Age of Workforce report that has been issued by the federal government makes it very clear that the government's intention is to fund apprenticeship programs. Okay, that has an exclamation point. Yes, they've identified 6, I think it's 5 or 6 pillars, but it is very much apprenticeship driven. And then, but when you think about it, you have a president, what was this TV show? The Apprentice. Okay, so that report is very much encouraging the return, if you will, to apprenticeships. And it's also not just apprenticeships, but certain trades like IT, AI, mining, work regarding different port authorities. So it's specific. So it's apprenticeships, but maybe not always in the traditional construction trades, but other trades. So we are obviously trying to pivot and maximize the creation of different relationships. We are reconnecting, restoring, and renewing some of those relationships that we've had in the past. So that's
I just want to jump in here, y'all, because we're past 10 o'clock and I'm seeing some board members itching to head out. Thank you. It's been a rich discussion from board members, but I'll pause here for this part. Are there any other comments from the public? If not, since many of you are in the room, I encourage you to continue this discussion after we adjourn the meeting. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So, Anita.
Do you have a second?
Second, Stacy.
All right. Well, thank you all for your commitment to this work. I encourage you to stay in community after the close for those that are in person, but thank you all for your work this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Okay.